All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is another good day the Lord have made. We can say hallelujah, you know, and we need to thank Him for everything, right? Because without Him, we are nothing, right? Okay, now as we are about to start, we commit this lesson into His hands and we humbly implore Him to give us His wisdom to be able to do what we are going to learn here today, right? Guys, remember yesterday, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? We discussed the cash flow, right? Then we talk about the key financial um, statement, where we talk about the income statement, then the balance sheet and the cash flow, right? I don't know why they don't have the detail of the balance sheet. But okay, I will go. I will look for something else to show you how the balance sheet look like. Like I said, when you look at the balance sheet, it shows the employment of capital employed as well as the employment of capital, right? The money that was employed in doing the business, the assets, and how those assets was utilized, right? So the income statement, you know about the income statement. That is where you got the financial income statement can help you to establish the financial performance of a business. Remember, I said it. From income statement, you can be able to establish the financial performance of the business because it's going to show you whether the business is making a profit or a loss, which is the financial performance, right, of that business at that for that particular period. Let me put it that way, right? Then the balance sheet helps you to determine the financial position of the business, whether the business is living on debt or being run or whether the business is indebted or not, right? Because there are certain businesses, like I told you, that are running on debt, right? So such business is not a healthy business, most especially if the debt or the level of debt overshadow the owner's equity, right? Okay. Now the cash flow, we've done that, we've demonstrated it, which I said is the movement of money in and out of the business, right? Okay. So today, can you, if they give you a question on cash flow, will you be able to do it? Was it in this class that I showed that cash flow? That I did this? Okay. Then, okay, today we are going to talk about factors influencing pricing. Factors influencing pricing. For you to be able to establish or formulate, let me put it that way, let me use that language. Formulate a competitive price. What do we mean by a competitive price? A price that you can be able to, because you know, when you are doing a business, you might not be the only business, right, in the marketplace. So you must, most especially if you have competitors, you must make sure that you charge a price that can help you to be able to compete in the marketplace, to be able to, like I said, it's like a war, right? Whereby the ones that survive will be the fittest. So it's the survival of the fittest, if I may reframe it that way. So you must make sure that the price you are charging is competitive in such a way that when the customers they look at it compared to the prices of other companies, then they can say, okay, yours is more reasonable. Then based on that, they could make or they may make decisions to buy from you. Then we say factors influencing pricing, the target market. I think haven't I done this yet? Maybe it's I've taught entrepreneurship students, right? The target market, right? The target market can help you to be able to uh, determine your price. Or in other words, let's put it this way: it can influence your price, right? How does target market influence your pricing? Like we have here, we said, what is the price that the identified target market will accept? For example, if your target market is a low income area, younger, if your target market is a low income area, right? You know that they haven't got a lot of money, right? They cannot afford high prices. So what do you do? Based on that, it can influence your decision in terms of what you need to charge or what you need to uh, use as the price of your product. Do you understand what I mean? For example, when you go to some areas in the location, you look at the price of bread. It's cheaper than the price of bread in urban area, in the city, or in the affluence area. Right. My friend, don't disturb me. I'm teaching. Please. Right. Then you have competitors. Competitors as well can influence your pricing. Competitors can influence your pricing. Right. How does it influence your pricing? Right. You need to look at what your competitors are pricing. Because in the first place, you want a situation whereby your price is much more competitive, right, than your competitors. Yeah, money. Lovely. Sorry. Yeah, mind you, you are on air. You want to speak to me? Okay, just a minute. I know there's an issue with. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's an issue with fire. With fires. And in your class. Today? Maybe I wasn't here then. With a student. Maybe I wasn't here. You are not aware. I wasn't here. Recording. Yeah. All right, guys, sorry for that. I forgot to tell you that as we were going out, you could have helped me to pause it, right? Okay, all right. Okay, guys, like as we were saying, right? Competitors can influence your price, right? How does competitors, how can competitors influence your price? For example, if you know you are the only one that is providing the product or service, right? It gives you that monopolistic power, right? Whereby you can say, take it or leave it. Do you understand what I mean? You say, take it or leave it, right? You see, so you become monopolistic, whether they like it or not. This is the price I've set for my product. Take it or leave it. Did you see? So it can influence you for you to be raising, to be swallowing your head that whether they like it or not, they're gonna buy it because they cannot find it anywhere apart from here. I'm the only seller. I'm the only producer of this product. Do you understand what I mean? Right. Then let's compare it to a situation whereby you have so many competitors. Then you're gonna be worried. I don't know how much my competitors are charging now. Right? You're gonna be worried. Right. So that will help you to cool down, put your head down and be reasonable in formulating your price. Did you see? So competitors can as well influence your pricing because you need to watch out. Otherwise, they will kick you out of the race. Does it make sense to you? Right. Then convenience. Convenience can influence. Right. Let me give you a typical example of how convenience can influence someone's pricing or a business pricing strategy. Right. You see Spa, right? Spa open till mid 10 o'clock or whatever, right? And they open very early, right? And you see that one can, because when you look at their pricing, they charge higher than ShopRite and Pick and Pay, right? Because of that convenience that they open at any time. You can wake up at any time of the day, then you go and buy something. Okay, let me give you another good example. You see some of these mini market they have in the garages. They open 24 hours, right? And you can wake up at any time of the night or any time of the day to go there to buy something. And that is why, due to convenience, they know that people gonna come, right? So in the night, you see the prices, their prices are quite different, right? Because they know that what they are offering, that odd hour that they are opening, there is no other shop that is opening at that particular period of time. So they take leverage of that to set their prices. And if you are looking for something to buy at night, whether the price is high or low, you must buy because you need that. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. Let me give you another typical example. When I was running my business, internet cafe, right? I used to open on Sundays. Sunday, right? So the shop, my competitors, they were not opening on Sundays. Right. So when people wants to print something, they will go around, they will know other shop is open besides my shop. Then they come to me. I can charge them anything that I want to charge them. Because my competitors are not there. Due to confidence, they come to me instead of because most especially if they know that they needed to print, they just need to print that thing, they cannot wait till the following day or the following Monday. They have to pay whatever I'm charging them. So based on convenience, I was able to establish my price. That if I say print a page or the price for printing a page is 2 rand, they were paying me. But weekdays, my competitors they used to charge 40 cents. I cannot charge 2 rand because once they come to me and say 2 rand, they will just go just 100 meters away. They were charging 40 cents. Did you see? So when those people are open, I don't charge too much money. So weekends are they are not there, then I charge a lot of money. You see what I mean? Those type of stuff. You can influence your pricing strategy or your whatever price that you want to set for your product and those services. Then costing, right? We said costing, it helps you, it can influence your pricing as well. How does it influence your price? If where you are buying your products, you are sourcing it to be getting it very cheap, right? Because in the real sense of it, your price is going to be based on your cost of sales. Do you understand what I've just said? Because you are not going to sell your product less than your cost price. Are you going to sell your product less than your cost price? Now, so it means your cost price is a function, or let me put it this way, your selling price is a function of your cost price. If your cost price is cheap, low, right, it will make your selling price so below, right? If your cost price is high, you sourcing your product from a place that, or you buy your product from expensive place, where you cannot be able to negotiate a good deal or where negotiation of a good deal is a bit of a challenge to you, then your price will not be cheap as well because you have to make sure that in setting your or in determining your price, you recover your cost. So if your cost is low, it can make you to fix a price that is moderate. That is what we are trying to say here. Costing. Does the selling price cover all the costs and leave enough for profit? You cannot sell your product exactly the same price you acquired or you procure the product or you pay for the procurement of the product. So selling price is a function of the cost price or the cost to you for you to be able to procure the product and sell the product, right? Which could, in some cases, include the cost of transport and distribution and whatever, right? So that is what we are trying to say here. The factors that can influence pricing, as we said, the target market, right? Knowing the profile of the target market, the profile of the target market help you to decide, can influence the price that you need to charge for your product, you need to fix for your product. Low income earners, you need to be considerate, knowing full well that they don't have money to pay. If your target market is people that got money, you can charge them anyhow. As long as they are interested and the quality is good, they are going to pay. You see, for example, when you go to waterfront now, you know the type of people that cancel waterfront. Did you see the prices of their things there? Right? Sometimes it's ridiculous because most people that goes there are tourists from overseas. They come with pound sterling, dollars. When they convert that money, it's a lot here. Something that we are selling there, for example, let's say 100 rand. When they convert it into dollars, it's a small money. You see? So those kind of stuff. People that are living in the affluent area like Bishop's Court, all those big area. You see the things that the shop there, the classes, the prices of things are different, right? Somebody once told me, I don't know whether it's true, that if you are staying in Danu, right? Danu, my city is subsidized. You see, the charges that you pay so for you that is staying in Danu is less than somebody that is staying in Table-View. I don't know. I haven't established it. Somebody told me that it's subsidized. For example, if you are from Danu, you buy a ticket for 1 month, or not a 1 month ticket. That one is fixed. Let's say you put 100 rand. It can take you more time to go to Cape Town than somebody coming from another place because the unit, the charge for someone from the location is less. You see, because the government have subsidized it. You know something of that. You see, based on what the target market, right? The competitors as well. So if they ask you in the exam to identify certain factors that can influence somebody's pricing, then you say the target market, the competitors, convenience, right? Then cost. Does it make sense to you? Right. Then the pricing concept, right? The pricing concept, in other words, you can call this the pricing strategy. The pricing strategy. Remember, you are in business to make money. Do you understand? And you are in a business that is more or less saturated. You are not the only one, right? You must make sure that you got a kind of a strategy that can help you to become competitive, right, in the marketplace. Right. So these are some of the pricing concepts that I would like to introduce to you today. One is scheming. Scheming. Scheming, a high introductory price is set to recover research and development costs. This is a kind of a pricing strategy, right? Whereby when you introduce a new product in the market, perhaps you've done a lot of research to be able to come up with that product. For example, if somebody was, okay, let me give you a typical example that you can vividly remember. During the time of COVID, right? The vaccine, you know how much it was costing the country to buy the vaccine? That vaccine that we were given, do you think that it was free? It was not free. To you, it was free, but the government paid for it. Right? Remember during COVID, everybody, we were all panicking, running up and down. Nobody knew what was happening. Then people were doing a lot of research, busy in the lab, to see how one can be able to come up with a vaccine. Right. And remember, to develop an effective vaccine, they say it takes years. That was why people were wondering, how could how would they be able to come with a vaccine within this short period of time? Right? Then they were busy scientists in the lab doing research to see how they can come up with something. God bless them, God gave them the wisdom within a short space of time, which has never happened before in history, to develop a vaccine. They came up with something. But what I can tell you, the price was exaggerated. It was exorbitant, high price, right? They use this type of pricing strategy, perhaps, to recover the cost of the research and development they've done. Because people were busy in the laboratory 24 hours without sleeping, right? Using different things, no matter the cost, put together to make sure that they are able to come up with something, right? So, what it means is this skimming pricing. When you are introduce this type of strategy, when you are introducing your product, you charge a very high price. So as times goes on, then you're gonna be charging the price gonna be coming down. You are charging that high price at the beginning so that you can recover your costs, right? That you've expended in doing your research. Do you understand what I mean? So that is what we call a skimming pricing strategy. Does it make sense to you? Right. Okay. You can introduce this type of skimming strategy if there are no much competitors. Right. Because if there are competitors, if you make it too high, they're not gonna buy from you. You see what I mean? Because you cannot recover the whole cost that you incurred within a short space of time. You need to make sure you prioritize it. But if it is a product that is monopolistic in nature, whereby you are the only seller, you are the only provider, you can afford to introduce a skimming price. It's like take it or leave it. They're gonna buy it. People were dying. People, we needed that vaccine. No matter how much it costs, you must pay for it. You see? So that is what we are trying to say here. Then loss leader. Guys, this thing is very interesting. I love it. Loss leader. The prices of a few popular products are reduced to entice. I like that language. To entice or to woo, right? Customers to buy the product. Right. You see, this one is common. You walk into a shop, you discover that there are certain products that you know very well, right? The prices are ridiculously low, right? The prices are ridiculously low. So I need to sort that one out. I will come back to you, please. Ne? I'll send someone in. Okay, okay, right. So when you introduce this loss leader pricing, you know certain items that people like to, they know very well, very popular. You bring the price down. The other ones, you raise it up. When they come, oh, I know this thing is very cheap, man. I know how much they are selling this thing in town. That one will entice you, right? Convince you now that, hey, this shop is cheap. Then you start buying. You buy the low one, it will make you, because now you are enticed. Buy the one that is expensive. So themselves, they are going to recover whatever they are losing in the other one that the price is ridiculously low. You must be very careful when you are buying things. These are kind of strategies, right? That is why when I want to buy something, I look at the price. Oh, this one is very low. I know about this. What the other one I don't know about, I'm not gonna buy it. I only that one. Then I walk away. So you cannot welcome me. Do you understand what I mean? Right. So it's one of the pricing strategy. The odd pricing. You all know about this. You all know about this. Right? When you say 99.99, it sounds as if it is 19, but it's not 19, it's 20. We all know about this. Eh? 99.99. You say it's 90 rand, but that thing is 100 rand. It's 100. You understand what I mean? Right? It's 100 rand. Even most of the time, I fall victim to this. When my wife and I have gone out to buy something, my wife goes and says, this thing is 90. I say, it's not 90, it's 100 rand. This thing is 900 or something. Right? It's not 900. This is 1,000. Do you understand? Psychologically, you know. So we call it odd pricing. Pricing is set at a level which sound a lot less. You see, it sound a lot less, 900, but meanwhile, it's 1,000, 1K. You know, you student of new venture creation now, then you know that you can advise your people that, these are strategies. And you have to be very cautious when you are doing your procurement. Then we have what we call cost plus pricing. So this one, the cost of each product is calculated, then you just add a markup strategy. You can apply this most especially, or you will prefer to apply this as a business person when the business environment or the marketplace is competitive. You just want to recover the cost and then just put a little bit of markup. For example, if you are bidding, tendering, right? You just have to be very careful. Otherwise, if your price is more than your competitors, the other bidders, then you're gonna lose the deal. So you just say, okay, this is my cost price. Let me just play around with the profit margin to arrive at the selling price. Then competitive pricing. Price is set just below the price of competitors, right? You look at your competitors, you look at their price, then for you to be able to be there in terms of attracting more customers or clients, then you set the price below what the market price, below the rolling price, right? So yeah, is the period over now? Okay. Then here we've already talked about this, calculating the markup, which is with the gross profit. To calculate the gross profit, we know the formula, which is this. Then, yeah. So the gross profit, okay. Let me, you got another class now. Huh? Oh, it's break time now. Okay. Let me not, okay, that means, you say you are writing on Tuesday. Yeah. But let's see what is going to happen. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, let's stop here. Right? Right. You see, to calculate, to revisit how to calculate the gross profit percentage. Okay, you know how to calculate the gross profit, right? Which is the sales, you got the sales, right? You minus the cost of sales from from it, yes? Then you have the gross profit. Yeah? Okay. Now, if you want to calculate the gross profit percentage, right? Listen, you said the gross profit divided by sales, right? Times 100. Let me say 100, right? That is the gross profit percentage. Understand? Which means you are expressing the gross profit as a percentage of sales. You are expressing the gross profit as a percentage of sales. If somebody asks you, say, express 4 over 10 as a percentage, what you gonna do? Say, oh, express 4, yeah, as a percentage of 10. Let me put it that way. Express 4 as a percentage of 10. You say 4 divided by 10 times 100 over 1. It's the same thing. When you are expressing say gross profit, okay, gross profit as a percentage of sales. That is gross profit percentage, I mean, right? I think that is how I said it. If we want to calculate the gross profit percentage, you express gross profit as a percentage of sales. If you click gross profit percentage, right, is meaning express gross profit as a percentage of sales. For example, in the exam, if they ask you what is gross profit percentage, right, then you say gross profit being expressed as a percentage of sales. That is gross profit percentage. Right. Now, if you are doing a break even in value, right, you use the gross profit percentage, which is gonna be fixed cost divided by gross profit percentage. It will give you the break even in value or in break even in the rand, right? If you are using the monetary rand as a monetary value, right? Okay. If you want to know the quantity that needs to be sold to be at a break even in a business, then you say fixed cost divided by gross profit. Gross profit. So if you want to know the value, you don't use the gross profit, you use the gross profit percentage to show you the amount, not the quantity. Right. Okay. Now let me move further again. Take another step further. Gross, this markup. How do you calculate the markup? Markup is the gross profit expressed as a percentage of cost of sales. Markup is the gross profit expressed as a percentage of sales. You see, some of these things you need to memorize. Do you understand? Let it click in your brain, right? Register it in your brain. Markup is being calculated, right, as gross profit expressed as a percentage of cost of sales. Remember, gross profit percentage, we say gross profit expressed as a percentage of sales, right? Now, markup will be gross profit expressed as a percentage of cost of sales. Did you see it? Right. For example, if you are given a calculation, so they say calculate the markup. They've given you the gross profit, you got the cost of sales. Then you just say gross profit, right, divided by cost of sales, then times 100. Yeah. So you then you get it right.